Good evening. My name is Nathan. Uh, I'm just, what do you call this? I guess I'm experimenting. So I'm operating under the name NDR Evolve. And kind of doing a test video here. I have some concepts that I kind of want to explore and that I really want to share. Like I really do feel like I'm come to a lot in the last 6 months especially, that I feel like I'm shifting, changing a lot, and I feel like it's important to share the raw part of it too, change, growth, all that. So, okay, just to kind of share, I'm going to segue do a quick story on one of my core things that have gotten me to this point that I'm at in my life. And then I'm going to paint. I'm going to show y'all how I do things like, there goes the Bluetooth speaker. I'm going to show you how I do things like, I do like a watercolor process that's really a wet process. It's really fun to do. And honestly, I feel like it's a kind of style of painting anyone can do. And I'm just kind of looking to share it with people. See if they want to explore and try this really fun style of painting that for me is just really part of my healing, to be honest. It's really part of my process. So it really kind of comes down to, I just need to start sharing with one of the main core concepts of my life. I'm going to put this camera down. You see this tattoo in my arm? Can you see it? It's hard to see. So the gist of that's a tattoo I would put in my arm. I'm pretty sure it's when I turned 21. And it just came from a doodling that I was doing in a notebook. It's kind of a long story, but doodling I was doing in a notebook, and it came down to this. I was doodling this thing came out as I was doodling, and the gist is the absolute value. Okay, I'm showing you the absolute value of any question is a positive answer, right? So that is the absolute value symbol from algebra, which is. And when used in context of equations in algebra, the absolute value is really looked at as the distance from zero, right? So on a number line, you have the positive side, and then you have zero, and then you have the negative side of the number line. The absolute value, which are those two lines, is the distance from zero. So I kind of had this epiphany feeling concept one day as I was doodling. I'm like, whoa, the absolute value of any question, because I love questions. Okay, it's a big, huge thing of my whole life is questions. I love asking questions. I love asking questions almost more than I like answering questions. I'm not really an answerer. I'm a questioner. But I really do believe the process of asking these questions in our lives, it really is always a path to a positive outcome. I guess it's kind of an optimism, but it's really more of it seems different than optimism. It seems like it's more just a real forward is the only way, this is the only path there is. Everything is forward step. It's all perfect. It's always as it's supposed to be kind of feeling, actual feeling that, doesn't matter what the question is. And I really feel like as long as we're asking questions, that's just the key part for me, at least for me, that's a key part of my process, I should say. But anyway, on that note, I was looking through some old notebooks. I'm going to readjust this again. I was looking through some old notebooks. I was trying to figure out what year this doodle came out of, I don't know, me, as I was doodling in my journal notebooks when I was a lot younger. And I was looking through, I have this bin of it's actually a road case full of, like a music road case type box, full of a bunch of old notebooks. It's quite the notebook journaler guy for most of my life. And I came across this thing that I love because it really just kind of emphasizes the me, the version of me. Like, yes, I'm exploring, I want to share, I've decided I want to share what I'm exploring on my exploration of the everything verse, I call it. I'm really just about sharing the exploration of it. I'm not about I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do this sharing my way, and I'm just gonna stumble through it as I do it. If you want to pay attention, cool. If you don't, that's cool. So anyway, I was looking through these notebooks, these old ones, looking to, and this, I came across this page of one of my old notebooks. I don't know if you can read that. It just cracks me up. It says, I need to be real with what I need to be real with what I create. Otherwise, it would just be BS. This is probably this is probably like a teenager notebook, to be honest. This is, I need to be real with what I create. Otherwise, it would just be BS. Well, the full word of BS. And that's just kind of what I'm doing. I just feel like I learn by doing. I'm a learn by doer type personality. I don't ever feel like I come from a perspective of I know this and you need to know it too. That's never, because I feel like I have something to learn from everybody and every interaction with everybody. Just like, it's a symbiotic process of learning for all of us. And I just feel like I just need to, regardless of what someone else is doing with what they're learning, I need to stay focused on my learning and figure out what I'm learning from every moment to moment. It doesn't matter where the other person's at for me. It's just me realizing that I need to figure out my part of it and not present my process in any way that is just not real. So I'm just going to do this my way, the real way for me, which is my real way. Anyway, the watercolor painting that I do. So I do these paintings. So like this is one, I've been kind of playing with these. I'm exploring and learning this whole lot of metaphysical stuff, to be honest, right now, and I'm exploring the chakra subject. This is a painting I did actually in January. Like, it's actually New Year's. I think it was New Year's weekend. I did this. It's the chakra colors, and it's this really wet process. You see, like I love. So when this paper, when I'm done doing the actual painting part, this is completely soaked in water, and it takes like 24 hours or 48 hours, sometimes 48 hours to fully dry. And as it dries, you can really see it looks a lot different when it's wet than when it does when it's dry. And I love seeing that process. It's an amazing transmutation process from the super wet point of the painting process to when it's fully dry, and seeing how the paint, it's very hard to predict what the paint's going to do a lot of times too. So as you see, there's like all these, there's in art terms, negative and positive spaces in various patterns, right? So, but how I do that, so this was like when it was wet, it was totally wet with red watercolor paint. But those patterns are created by, let me show you this. Various things that I put on the paper. So I'm going to actually put this down. Very professional camera work. Here's my box. This is my box of stuff. Very professional art. This is welcome to my art studio, by the way. This is my art studio. This is my box of stuff I do for the painting. So, like, I just use this little kitchen spot, and I put this in the pan because I know it's going to be really wet. I like to have it sort of, and it's a place where the water is not going to go spread everywhere. And I put things on the paper that help create the patterns, right? So like these are keychain rings, and I got like a whole bin of them at like Goodwill or something. I go to Goodwill or thrift stores in general to honestly look for stuff that might be useful as, we'll call it pattern or design or shape creation type ways that'll affect the water and the way the water dries on the pieces of paper and create various different shapes and patterns on that paper as it dries. So like this is my box, my professional art cabinet of supplies. I have funny things like yarn. I'll lay the yarn across the piece of paper. And actually what I like to do with the yarn, I'm actually soaking some pre-cut pieces of the yarn actually in water right now, because if I put it on dry and spray bottle the piece of paper, I've noticed it's a different style of pattern when it dries, through the drying process between the super wet and then the drying transformation that happens on the piece of paper. And it also sticks in clumps if I put the yarn on dry, as opposed to soaking the yarn in the water the water glass first before putting it on the piece of paper. You'll see things like stones that I have that I put on the piece of paper. This time I'm going to use a little people cookie cutter on the painting. Sometimes I've used this funny cookie cutter house, or I have these star designs that I put too to create different designs. I have these. This is one of the things I got. Caster cups, and one of the reasons I got these when I was at the thrift store for the paintings is, hold this out, see these cool little teeth on the bottom of it? It creates the really cool speckle pattern when it dries. Let me show you. Like on this one. This is actually, by the way, my root chakra one that I did. Also did this on New Year's weekend. Actually, no, it was a couple weeks after New Year's, actually, this one. So that's the speckle pattern they came from these plastic casters with the teeth on the bottom that I got from the thrift store. But yeah, so this is what I'm doing. The one I'm doing tonight is another part of the series of the chakra series I've been kind of toying with and playing with. And I'm doing this to help reinforce understanding of the chakras. And I'm actually getting these chakra affirmations from a different programmer thing that I signed up for like a sound healing thing. I was just exploring that. I signed up for it in the beginning of the year, and I'm only very slowly chipping away at that. I'm currently going through soul empowerment and hypnosis training. I'm certified on that. I'm level 1. It's one of the things I'm learning right now. There'll be different videos on that subject. Completely amazing. But I also did sign up for some other things. I'm just very curious and learning a lot right now on a lot of different subjects. And this is like some affirmations that are they're completely focused on the sacral chakra, the orange. And so this one says, first of all, the root chakra one says, we are, in the upper corners, grounded, connected to earth, open to new ideas, letting go of the past. And then we are is in the corners again. And that's the root chakra, the affirmation root chakra concepts that are on this sound healing class online that I'm playing with. Also, the one I'm doing today is the sacral chakra affirmation. We are, and I'll explain the we are in a second, but we are kind, compassionate, feeling good about body, express feelings in positive ways. We are. This is the one I'm going to do to reinforce the sacral chakra, feeling and energy. Orange is the magic color. Alright, so honestly now I'm just going to start laying some stuff down. Throw some rings in. I'm pretty random about it. I don't know what I'm going to do this to let people die. And yeah, so I really do reflect on the words that are on the piece of paper as I'm doing this part. In a different video, I'll talk through the process of where I'm writing the words on the paper, and that's a whole different thing. And you can do these kind of paintings without the words. I just like adding the words. I love words, so I like to play with words, and adding the words is something that I just love to do. So the we are part of the painting that's kind of important to me. It's important to me. So, because I really do believe there, the I energy. We are a whole bunch of individuals trying to figure out our individual paths amongst there's a we. Like, we're all part of that. It's like we all think we're individual, I guess just to say is how I feel about it. We all think we are individual energies, but we are completely all intermingled, interlinked, intertwined. And it's more than just that. We really all are part of a we. There is a one. I do believe there is a one energy that we are all in the process of merging with, or are already a part of, that's just separate within. It's a So that's why I'm very focused on using the whole I am and we are statements in a lot of what I write. Because everything I write, my intention is really to stop separating the I and the we and keep moving towards bringing the I and the we together. So there's some wet yarn across the table, across the, and I guess I should really move the camera over here a couple times so you can see what I'm actually doing. Yeah, my pan has got a bubbly center. It's a little obnoxious. I need to be real about what I create, otherwise it is just bleep. It's hilarious that I wrote that like 25 years ago. Holy crap. It's incredible. And now I'm taking these pebbles, just randomly placing them on the piece of paper, various spots. And I keep experimenting with different ways and methods. Like, do I wet the paper first and then start dropping paint down? Do I put paint on top of the pebbles and then spray the pebbles and let it splatter? That's one of the things I love about the abstract color method of playing around that I've been doing for many years. I learned this from, God, I wish I remember his name, an amazing man, many years ago, this style of painting. He did a much different version of it. It was incredible. I'm gonna do something weird. I guess I'm gonna try and take the camera off of the computer and show a better view of what's going on there, what I've been doing. So, whoa, camera's freaking out, flipping. My fancy tripod, there's my tripod. Anyway. So that's what I just did with the painting, or the future painting. process. God darn it, I'm trying to get this thing. It's really hard to get that. I definitely need to get a tripod. Yeah, look at that. So that's what I did so far. With the yarn, that yarn is wet right now, laid across the page. My little humanoid or person or bean cookie cutter. In the middle, pebbles kind of randomly dropped on the paper throughout. And now, usually I've done paintings with multiple colors, but this time I'm going to do just the orange because this is a painting focused on the sacral. Okay, use the tripod again. So again, it says, what is it? So it says, we are kind and compassionate, feeling good about body, express feelings in positive ways. We are. I think I might actually dab some of this on the rocks too a little bit. The pebbles. Do some dabs on top of the pebbles with this paint. I'm definitely a big fan of the tube watercolors. Going to be the tubes. I'm going to skip I was going to do some of these this time, but no, I'm not feeling it. Since I'm feeling like I like what I'm doing so far. I want to shift that. Here's a spray bottle, water spray bottle. Michael's. That's right. Go to Michael's. Ain't ashamed of it. Not ashamed. Question. Question. Michael's. All right. I really like this one because it has that more tight stream here hitting the paper instead of the wide spray. It's a little more dramatic happenings with the paint on the paper from the stream part of the bottle spray. Wetter and wetter, and I'm going to take a paintbrush now and kind of dab some spots of the paint on other parts of the paper too. I'm going to put some of the yarn spots. Random spots around the rings. Just random. Just going to do some random swooshes with the brush in various areas. And then come back with this spray bottle. paint. Right now I kind of like dabbing. Right now I'm dabbing some of the paint more on the edges of these keychain rings I put down. Just had a little epiphany. Maybe I should do the style of painting on video like that. I forget his name right now. I'm not sure if I should. You know, the painter who's well known for having the really peaceful, calm voice. I could do calm, soul empowerment hypnosis painting. Soothing. I do feel like, you know, I really do connect with the words on the paper too. It's huge. Okay, definitely. It's a huge part of the process is really kind of meditating on the words too that I write down on these. Because, like I said, if you want to do this, if you want to explore with this kind of style of painting, you don't have to do the word part. I love words. So I love words. I just can't help myself. Just do the same style of painting. In fact, maybe I'll do, you know, even for my own sake, I should probably experiment with that, doing this kind of style of painting a couple times without the words, and explore with what I could do with that. Like the gentleman I learned this style of painting from, the really wet process of watercolor, his version, what he would do is he didn't really do the words, but he would do similar to what I'm doing with a lot of water. He wouldn't lay all this stuff on the piece of paper. There was no objects on the paper. I kind of took up the object on the paper direction after learning his version a long time ago. And but I like this style because after you do this really wet process with nothing on the paper, then once it dries, it's so amazing and just incredible to see all the watercolor paints, the patterns that emerge and happen after drying on a piece of paper with being this wet. And then what he would do is he would go over those paintings again after they dried with a brush and create, to be honest, he created a lot of angel drawings, like or paintings. They're not drawings, they're paintings. He would do it without any objects on the paper. When the page dried, he would see images a lot of times he would see images of angels that he would bring out by just kind of gently softening various edges or sharpening a few other edges very gently, not harsh, not like very little touch-ups, just enough to really bring out the incredible images that he saw. And actually it's a whole spiritual process in and of itself. This, for me, is a whole spiritual process in and of itself. And then I also, since I'm doing orange, I'm going to point out that I have this is a, well, it doesn't look orange in the light right now, but it is an orange candle. I like to burn a candle, that's the color. Like as I'm doing the chakras and color series, I like to burn a candle that's the color of the energy chakra color that I'm exploring in the painting. Enough. I'm excited to see this. Oh, actually, not quite enough. One more. area, I think. Yes, for sure. Maybe not, I think, but I'm definitely positive. Putting some more, dabbing some paint on the string or the yarn that's going through the center of the body area. Yeah. And what's kind of cool, I didn't even think this through because I was chatting. I'm kind of adjusting it. It turns out that the intersection where all these yarn spots come together in this really looks like it's actually at the sacral spot of the body, of the cookie cutter body anyway. I gotta wipe these walls. Again, we are kind and passionate. Oh, kind and compassionate. Feeling good about body. Express feeling in positive ways. We are. To stop overboard on that. And wipe the walls because this is spraying the whole place. But now, actually, I'm going to take a quick moment. I don't want that to dry that way. I'm going to quick wipe on the wall. No, I do not want that to dry on there. I know it's watercolor, but still. Do it clean as you see it. That's how I am. Clean it as you see it. Just doing it. Okay, so now I feel like I'm going to shift that down a little bit because there's a lot of clumping or pooling water at the top. I am going to take this camera and hopefully do a better job this time of holding it over. So you can kind of see what it's looking like right now. So that's what it looks like right now. So now I'm going to I'm kind of zoom in a little bit so you can kind of see some of the spots a little better. Like, see, I got that yarn kind of going through the middle of the cookie cutter, little bean dude. The keychain rings, the stones, and you see I put dabs on top of some of the stones, and then I'm spraying them. Yeah. Okay. So now. I'm going to because I want that bubble in the middle of the pan to sink down. I don't like, because this, unfortunately, my art studio table, I'm also using this pan that has a bubble in the middle, and I want to put something heavy in the middle so because it'll affect how the paint dries. I'm actually going to use my son's piggy bank, which is heavy. Put it in the middle. That's right. Super professional, super professional. See that sunk, this pan, which has a little tendency to pop up a little bit. back down so it's flat, and that will, because otherwise all the colors would spread to the edge, and I kind of was trying to get some more centralized color flow there in the middle. I'm really excited to see how this dries. Okay, so at this point, that's it, and now it's just hurry up and wait. So 48 hours, I'm going to stop this recording, and you will see the results sometime in the next, I don't know, sometime in the next week when I get around to filming another video showing the results. All right, thank you. Have a great night.